Hey, hated that. Hey, everyone, what the frick is up?
Let's go, girls.
What the frick's up? Hey guys, it's me, Ryan P. We're back on the show. It's time for a drink. So you guys already know the drill. Get out your drinks, get out your snacks. Today I'm drinking a good old LaCroix because I am so over the White Claws right now. I just want to get silly, but... So today I decided... It's still a billion degrees in my room, my hair. I didn't care to like really, do the drill. So we're just gonna go right into it because it kind of goes with the video today. So basically, in quarantine, as we all have, so today could be a more triggering topic for some because I know it's a sensitive topic, but I have struggled with body image issues, weight issues, and just overall self-image issues my whole life. And in quarantine, it was getting definitely worse because I was just really letting everything go. I think I started figuring out really good methods for me to cope with these issues because I've had them for almost half my life, it feels like, and it's not even anything abnormal to me anymore. That's just how my brain works. Some people don't believe in that at all. They just think like you're insecure and all this stuff. But once you really do the research of someone who does deal with that, I can't even explain it, of not being able to accurately see what you look like or be able to trust what you look like. And I'll get into why. I wanted to share it with you guys because it's definitely a topic that needs to be addressed more. And but yeah, I just wanted to share this because I think this is a super important issue, especially since it impacts men and women. It's not just like a one gender thing. And because no one really likes to talk about it. Like diet culture is such a thing. And there's so many eating issues, body issues, especially now with like social media. I wanted to briefly talk about my journey. I also just want to tell you guys like how I've been working on it and like what's been working for me very recently because it was getting bad. And hopefully this can just start a conversation and maybe you guys have tips for me that I can take. I don't know. I just want to have like a little fun chit chat. So let's do it. It's like a part 2 to my broomies. So it's gonna be like really fun. Yes. Yes. I'm uncomfortable and hot and sweating. So I also want to give a trigger warning because I know this is sensitive information and yeah. So one of the things I've been doing in quarantine is buying a bunch of shit online, obviously, who isn't, but I just bought this scale, which I just like don't know what I'm talking about. The only reason I've been really even thinking about this topic is because I just got a scale. It was one of the things I bought in quarantine. And it tells me like my body fat percentage, my muscle mass. I didn't know those existed. Am I gaining fat? I don't know. So I got one, totally expecting I'm not a scale person. I never want to weigh myself. I think it's very unhealthy. I already went through that phase in my life, like when I was 18, like obsessing over how much I weighed. I haven't been working out in quarantine and I wanted to know, like, am I like just gaining fat on my body when I don't move? So I got the fucking scale and not even being dramatic, I was expecting to get on the scale and have my fat percentage be some high number, like for my weight and all this stuff. And it's weird because I firmly like believed that was gonna happen, but like my friends or family, it's like, no, you need to gain weight. And I'm like, no, I haven't been working out. It's definitely like I'm just getting bigger and I'm losing all my muscle and I'm just gaining fat. I don't know what I did to my hair, but it literally will not style. Any direction I put it in, it won't stay. I'm just over it. Like, I just want to put it in a middle part and be done. Anyway, so I get on the scale and my body fat percentage was 11%, which was 4% below what it should be for healthy. And that's when I was like, what the fuck or my issues. The best way I can describe my issues with eating and my just like features of my body is body dysmorphia. But there's so many things with that disorder that have rung true to me for so many years. So I'm kind of just gonna share some of that. So yeah, let's go into weight, my weight issues. Obviously, I'm not like overweight or anything. When I was younger, I never liked to play sports or do anything that my siblings like to do. Like I was never an athletic kid and I gravitated towards the computer and kind of just doing my thing. So that led to me gaining weight and just getting chubbier as a kid, just eating chips and salsa every day after school. I really just thought that was like a normal thing to do. I mean, it's like my favorite thing and I still eat it to this day, like almost every day. You can definitely see like where my ranch loving, French fry loving, chip loving, burrito loving, like where I was getting by not ever moving and playing Club Penguin every day. Yeah. So my siblings' friends, childhood family friends, parents, whatever, just start making comments obviously about kids and like, you should get your son into like sports, he's getting like a little chubby, you know, just like those type of comments. So I would hear those type of things, and just because I was also becoming like an outcast, because in 7th grade I started getting bullied where I was then being called gay. So then I was like getting very self-aware of who I am. I'm like, so now I'm like fat, people just hate me because I'm allegedly gay, so this is great. And I had this like issue of now over analyzing all my issues. Then it kind of got worse because I was just even more in my room and secluded and eating. I was starting to get insecure in my weight, but it wasn't really like bad. So then fast forward to 9th grade and my orthodontist tells me that my chin that I never knew had an issue was something we could fix later in life so that it would balance out my face. And now I'm kind of questioning, what do I really look like? And I'm becoming even more insecure with my body due to like the bullying from 7th grade and now my weight and my chin. So I started like over analyzing all my features and just critiquing it, just really feeling like shit and kind of just feeling trapped in my body. So fast forward a little more, I find I'm getting jaw surgery. My doctor tells me to stop eating salt because my blood pressure is so high to the point of like a heart attack, which is why I was getting the jaw surgery. Once you cut salt out of your life, you really can't eat anything, especially when you live in America. Like our food is so salty and unhealthy. So I started losing a bunch of weight, which to me was incredible. Like my dreams were coming true. I meet Harry Styles. I'm like, he's my inspiration. And then I start listening to One Direction and running like 5 miles a day because I become obsessed with becoming skinny. In my jaw surgery video, I talk about how I become underweight from cutting salt out of my life because obviously if you can't eat salt, you can't eat like any American food. Our food is so unhealthy and gross. So I start getting really skinny and become eventually underweight and so excited about it. So now I have like this unhealthy thinness that I'm obsessed with. So that's when I start eating almonds every day. Like literally almonds and running miles, which I don't even do now. Like, the fuck? Then I started getting complimented, being like, oh, you're so skinny. And then like, that's when skinny starts coming out, like the term. And then we're like, you're skinny, I'm not skinny. So around the time I start losing all my weight from running and eating almonds every day and now being obsessed with it is around the time Facetune came out, which is probably the world's unhealthiest app. Photoshop on your phone, you know? I start loving that fucking app. So does everyone. Everyone's smoothing their face, reshaping their bodies, and just further giving into this stereotype of what it means to be beautiful and starting to believe your Facetunes, which is also so unhealthy. So once I started getting really fucking skinny, underweight, still thinking I'm not skinny and out of shape, just perpetuating really, really negative body image thoughts on myself and just into the world. And this also has to do with me being gay because I was around girls all the time. So I was always comparing myself to girls, which is not healthy. I'm a man. My body shape is for a man. And comparing my body to my friends who were half my size in high school and then getting even more insecure, like, oh man, I'm too big. And then reshaping my body in Facetune in photos next to them because I thought I was so fat. As a result, it made my head bigger. And then that was like another insecurity. I was like, my head is so fucking big. It's like, no, you just Facetuned your fucking body to a twig and you're already underweight. So now it's like a bobblehead. You know, my other issue with Facetune that leads to so many issues with people when they get older is you Photoshop like your hair, your jaw, your nose, all this dumb shit as a kid, and you delete the original. So you start looking back at old photos and you're like, oh my God, I looked so much hotter. I didn't really understand how bad my body dysmorphia got until kind of recently. Obviously, after my chin was there, I really just didn't trust any of my senses anymore because it's like, I don't know what the fuck I look like because now my face was different. I was so confused and I started obsessing over what's next. What else can I fix? What can make me look better? Because the high of happiness and joy I got and like the fixing of a big insecurity, I wanted that like next high. I always say that was the happiest I'll ever be, which is like kind of sad, but once you reach this like weird happiness that you never thought you'd get, it's kind of like a constant decline, because you can't really get back to that high of, oh my god, my biggest insecurity that I obsessed over for years was fixed. I don't understand what I'm doing. And then I go into college and I have to take nutrition. And nutrition 100% fucked up my relationship with food. If it wasn't already bad with me not even allowing myself to eat anything bad anymore, like I literally changed my diet. I don't even know what the fuck I ate. Like I literally gave up sweets too. Like I'm not even that into sweets, but I literally went years without eating sugar for no reason. Like I literally just was like, it's not good for me and I need to eat like almonds every day, all day, and like I need to be skinny. So in nutrition, I learned how to read nutrition labels. You will learn how disgusting our food in America is. Like there's just either so many preservatives, chemicals, salt, everything has so much sodium in it. Serving sizes, calories, ugh, there's just so much. And once I learned how to read labels, I never wanted to look at labels again, just because of how bad a lot of American food is. Like, it's just really disappointing. Like, you're just like, what the f can I eat that's not just vegetables and fruit? I'll go into grocery stores, look at something, read the label, and then immediately put it down. But what was the worst part about nutrition, besides that was just giving me the horror of the world? We had to start calorie counting. And once I learned how to calorie count, someone who's obsessed with weight already and obsessing over features of their body is gonna fucking love a calorie counter, because it's another way to further restrict yourself and develop even worse eating patterns. So from nutrition, I now have a horrible relationship with food because calorie counting fucked me up. I started literally eating basically a woman's diet of probably around 2,000 calories, I guess. That diet has become so normalized to me where now I get full easily. So I've been eating like that forever, not really thinking about it, which makes me automatically just continue to lose weight. And it's not great. The issue with that is like I still have such a bad eating habit. I'm never really hungry in the morning, but I force myself to eat oatmeal now. Lunchtime, hit or miss. I either eat lunch or I don't. Like I could literally go till 5 and then that's when I start binging. Like I have like really big meals and then feel really disgusting about it. Obviously now I'm still eating junk food again, but now there's like this massive guilt built into it. Every time I look at food, it doesn't matter what it is, I'm like, this is good or bad for me. It's not a normal way to think. I look at an Oreo and I'm like, I'm gonna hate myself after I eat this. Or I look at chips and I'm like, I'm gonna feel disgusting after I eat this. My life's been like that for like a very long time. It's just been so normalized to me that I don't even question it. My family doesn't really eat the best, so like I'm always kind of the outcast on the eating side. It's like I like to be like, that's not good for me, like I can't eat that. And then because I restrict myself, if it's in front of me, I start binging it. Like I'll eat so much of it. I remember my mom was like, do you want a grilled cheese? And I was like, no, I can't eat that. And then she made like 7 of them because my sister had friends over and I ended up like eating almost all of them. And then if I eat really bad, like last night I ate Taco Bell, but I'm like, it's okay because I'm not gonna eat lunch tomorrow, which not healthy, but since my body just is fine with like the little calories, it's always like fluctuating in balance. It's like I'm not ever gaining weight, I'm not losing weight. In quarantine, I haven't been working out at all, and my weight has still been the same because I don't even exercise, which then makes me not even want to eat. Like I'm not even hungry. And I don't know, does this even make any sense? That's just like my unhealthy relationship with food. I know since like my demographic is like a majority of girls who are my age, I know the conversations with my friends and people around me and diet culture and just like how toxic all of this is. And I know a lot of other people skip meals and do shit like that. And I don't know, as long as you're at least aware of it, that it's not good and like gonna try to work on it, I don't know. I don't know where we go from here, people. Like, what do we do? Because I've never had a full-on eating disorder. I've never, like, the only time I've ever, like, pulled the trigger down my throat is, like, drunkenness-related, not food-related. I just feel, like, the guilt after I eat. So with my jaw surgery, my insecurities from a kid, my weight, all this stuff comes into, like, the body dysmorphia. With being overly critical of how I look, what I need to fix next, and what I can improve on, and basically just an overall self-hatred for how I look, which is the most miserable state you can be in. Basically, instead of focusing on your whole face as a whole, you just see what you're insecure of and it's so magnified where that feature makes up your whole identity. But I realized, I think last year my body dysmorphia was like an actual major issue because when I would get I would stare in the mirror. There was one time I stared in the mirror shirtless for over an hour, like looking at my posture, picking at my face. Like, so that's it, like how I even got the boil in the first place was because I picked at a blackhead and it became this massive thing, which then led me into even more of this insecurity, like hyper focused on my nose, for example. The way I perceive myself is completely not correct. It's gotten bad enough to the point I have to like actually ask people what I look like, because I don't trust what I look like anymore, because I know there's like, whatever you want to call them, bad voices that just put you down constantly, because it reflects back on like being bullied and just having a really big facial change that really just changed how I viewed my face, because it made me so obsessed with how I look and magnetizing further insecurities and focusing on stuff that shouldn't even be an insecurity. Like, people are like, why are you insecure of that? What are you talking about? When I get it makes me insecure for some reason. And I remember, I think it was Sarah, she was going through my phone one time and she like laughed because there was like 30 photos of my head from different angles, like above, below, sideways, looking at my hair, seeing if my nose filler was still there properly, seeing if my chin was still sticking out, like literally just wanting to make sure that like I can even tell what I look like anymore, because my body seemed to like have lied to me so much. I don't know if this is even making sense. And it sounds like I don't know. Just like really unflattering angles, because I take my photos really close. I remember there was one time someone commented and was like, does anyone feel like Ryan's chin's disappearing? And I immediately looked it up and I realized I could get Botox in my chin to stop it from moving, because then it was a hyper focus for me. Because when I edit and stare at my face all the time, I'm like, why is my chin dimpling? And that was already something I didn't like, because I realized it did that when I ate. And I kept like chasing to fix things, you know, but like never finding this happiness that I should have found. Insecurities have to be fixed within. It's an internal problem. Luckily, I've never had to like seek out to like, for example, hookups. I've never understand hookup culture in the terms of people getting validation from it. Like, my validation from that whole example would be someone just saying they wanted to fuck me. I'm like, cool, that's all I needed to know. Body dysmorphia is visual processing abnormalities. So it shows a bias for analyzing fine details rather than seeing the holistic view. And you're so hyper focused on negative issues that you don't like about yourself that they're completely magnified and distorted. Someone literally had to be like, Ryan, first off, those angles are very unflattering. No shit. You're gonna be like, ew, I'm so fucking ugly. Like, no one should take a photo like this close. Like, that's how close I would like take photos. Like, my nose would be like this close. When really, if you're gonna look at a holistic view, you gotta go arm's length. Like, let's get the whole picture. Let's not just get the nose in the camera frame. Obviously, you're gonna be like, I fucking hate my nose. I don't know why that was such like a little, who knew? So one thing with BDD is excessive grooming, staring in a mirror too much, and picking at skin. I literally cannot pass a mirror without looking in it and like fixing something. And I always thought that was just some vainness thing. And I always hated when people like assume that you're vain from that, but it's like, I literally can't even help myself. Like, it got really bad. So after my Broomies journey is when I thought like me being so vain and all this stuff like was really about my image issues, and I kind of interpreted it wrong and was way harder on myself than I should have been, because it's not like a vainness. Like, the superficial stuff, yes, but like me obsessing over features, like, it's like, no, you literally are not understanding how to view yourself. That's when I started getting really depressed and falling in a hole, because I started getting paranoid that I was like balding and like all this shit. And then I didn't even want to make videos because I didn't want comments. Then with my Instagram hatred and all that, like just after how dumb I think Instagram is and how toxic it is, I was just getting insecure in general just to post. Like, I purposely posted a photo this past weekend trying to just be like, you can get cute. Another weird thing I do in public, I will literally grope a feel of my body. Like, I will lift my shirt up and grab my skin. And I started believing that the skin on my body was just like excess amount of fat. And my friends are like, Ryan, that's just skin. Like, you could do a sit-up and tone it. Just looking in mirrors all the time. Like, at work, I was never happy with my hair. Like, anytime I was in the bathroom or saw a mirror or like looked at my phone screen fixing it. And you just start obsessing over these things because they like start literally controlling your life. And this is like kind of where I learned about intrusive thoughts, but it literally just doesn't even feel like it's your own mind. It's just like someone just literally attacking you and being like, your hair looks so ugly. Like, your nose looks awful. Like, you look horrible. Just like the most negative thoughts that just come in, and you're just like going into like this mental spiral of hatred for yourself. I would have to send photos to like so many people and be like, does this look okay? And just overall just like not even trusting my own opinions. which is really important. You should not be having to seek so much reassurance. Because obviously with these issues, and when people catch you like staring in a mirror, like fixing things, like people at work, for example, would be like, Ryan, you look good. Like when I'm just like fixing my hair. It's so embarrassing because it's like some people do seek for validation from people. Like they're like, please tell me I'm pretty. It's like, no, this is like a self-hatred thing at this point, and I never needed people to be like, you look great. And it's weird because like when I would get ready to go out, like it would take me, I would think I would need like 30 minutes. Like I could do this. And it would take me like 3 hours. Like my friends got pissed because they're like, why does Ryan take longer than all of us? It's because once again, I'm in the bathroom obsessing over something like my hair. That's why I give up. I can't get it to be exactly how I want it. And like you can't stop touching things and fixing things and chasing, once again, this like perfection. And no one's perfect and no one will ever be perfect. And the sooner you realize that, the better. So when I started coming out of this really depressive state of just hating myself so much was the beginning of quarantine, when I wasn't going to the gym, obviously, still really haven't. And it was the one time I reshaped one of these negative, intrusive thoughts. I accepted it. I heard it come in. I was like, you know what? I haven't been working out. I haven't worked out in a while and I don't feel toned. I don't feel the greatest. But your life this whole past year was really fucking hard. And you did a lot to help other people. And you should be proud of yourself and stop shitting on yourself because you can't go to the gym because you don't have the fucking time. Or because you're not in a good mindset. And that was like the first time I felt like some hope. I was like, shit, I can actually control these negative thoughts, because that's when I learned that these negative thoughts aren't necessarily even your thoughts. You can accept them. Be like, no, toodaloo, bitch. Or you can be like, you know what? I get why you think that, but I went through some shit. And my mom always said something to me that always stuck with me. And she said, doesn't it get exhausting hating on yourself all the time? I always used to brush that off and be like, fuck yeah, I don't hate myself. And I looked in the mirror when I was really just in one of those phases, like where I'm like looking at my skin, picking at things, just, hating myself. I was so fucking over it. I really just like said a negative comment, picked at something, and I was like, aren't you fucking tired of being so mean to yourself? Like you are trapped in this body your whole life. You're not really gonna change anything else physically. Like why am I spending so much time hating myself? Like literally the sooner you can just accept it, stop being a fucking dick to myself. You don't think this way about other people. You only think this way about yourself. You hold yourself to such a high standard of what you need to look like, even though you look at everyone else and you allow everyone to live their lifestyle how they want to. You don't judge other people for how they look, but you're gonna do it to yourself. It makes no sense. And that's when I was like, shit. And I really stared at my insecurities for a very long time. Like I took them into Facetune. Like what would this future really look like if you got it done? And I, Facetuned around just to show myself. And I looked at it and I was like, that kind of just like doesn't fit my face. And then I like looked at the original and I was like, that just fits, like that's who I am, that's you. Once I accepted like whatever my insecurities were, was when I started healing more. I was like, okay, clearly it's not as bad as I think. There's a fucking bitch in my head. I'm gonna call her Kelly. Once Kelly starts fucking yapping, I'm like, shut the fuck up, Kelly. So what really helped me was obviously just acknowledging these negative thoughts, which aren't even my own thoughts. Once I heard that, that really started helping me. And Shallon Lester videos, like she really helped me a lot. I think it was called like The Psychology of Kylie Jenner. That's where I kind of like really learned a lot about myself. Fillers, plastic surgery, all this shit. As much as you get, it will never fill this void and this self-hatred that you have. And like I've experienced it through trying fillers and other shit. Just like things that you think is that little sliver that you need to complete your happiness. And once you keep fixing something and seeking for another one, you never find it. A lot of people also get a lot of work done and then continue to Facetune their photos. And it just goes to show that this void that we're all trying to fill, that you just need to get one more little procedure done to attain this happiness, is all just a bunch of BS. Like it's not true. It's like you need to find this void inside and really just accept yourself. And like just recently I was on a website literally Googling, how do I know if I love myself? And a lot of it didn't ring true with me, which was triggering because I think highly of myself. But one thing that's also really helped me was writing down positive qualities about yourself that aren't physical. And it was honestly really hard to do. I had to Google qualities, like a list, because I couldn't even just think of them quickly. Like, I'm smart, or like, I'm caring, or I'm funny, I'm nice, I'm friendly. Like, it was really hard. I couldn't even fucking think of them quickly. I was like, Once you start doing that, you start realizing like what is important and what are the good qualities of you that aren't a physical quality. And that really started helping me. Even like a little positive affirmation, you know, like sleep thing, like those things help. You need to remember like things that actually matter in your soul, not just what your soul drives. Like, this is just a vehicle for your soul. Love it. It gets you places. It handles some shit, like when I was cut there. But yeah, I stopped being so overly critical of myself recently. The eating one, I just wanted to share my personal journey with that, only because it's still an issue for me. I definitely don't obsess over calories. I definitely look at nutrition labels and those freak me out, but I know it's gonna be like an issue for the rest of my life. But now that I'm actively working on it, even just getting ready again and remembering like, oh, you're not a fucking slob. Quarantine did kind of fuck this all up because it really kind of puts you in this like weird state because no one in the world has experienced what's going on right now. So this is a first for everything. A lot of people are struggling with these type of issues right now. You just gotta pull yourself out of this dark spot, get yourself in the shower, get yourself cute again, because obviously you got just really comfortable just being a slob, and it just makes you more insecure. Also, if you are still face tuning, I would definitely stop. I haven't been face tuning in forever. The only time I will face tune is if a photo is somehow warped and I know that I either am not that small or not that big. Like, I want it to look like me. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm wearing an unflattering shirt, I'll move it in the photo if it looks really bad. And obviously it's fine to Facetune a pimple or like some dark spots. I just think leave the warping alone, you know? I did this like when I was 19 and 20. Like, I warped things that now if I look back at those old photos, I believe those photos are real, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm aging really bad. When realistically, I never even looked like that, which is now giving me negative thoughts later on. So it's not good. It could be like the best version of you, but like realistic. You don't need to give yourself something that doesn't exist. Like, as much as I want an ass, I'll never Facetune an ass on me because it was never there to begin with. I know why now. I'm always like, why don't I have an ass? Maybe you need to gain 4% body fat? Maybe look into that. This video was really confusing. I don't know how I'm gonna edit this because I can never keep a train of thought when talking about this type of shit. I just wanted to talk about all this stuff because I know it's a major issue that everyone deals with, some worse than others. And I just want, I don't know, anyone struggling, like, I hope this helps in some way. Just hearing someone else struggle with it. It doesn't make you superficial, doesn't make you self-obsessed, doesn't make you vain. Like, if it's to a level that is debilitating where you are in a mirror so long staring and trying to fix things, like, this is actually mental health. It's the same similar way that eating disorders begin. But I'm gonna be quitting Nikki, so if you guys want me to vlog that, I definitely need to start cooking and learning to cook and making my own food so that I don't just skip meals because I'm too lazy to cook in the first place. There's just like not a healthy correspondence going on that I need to fix and get physical again and keep this self journey going. I loved sharing it with you guys. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow me at Ryan Paynter. Comment below sharing your own stories and things that help you guys. If you are comfortable doing it, talk to each other. I definitely would love to read your tips and your experiences. I hope this didn't sound really depressing. I just didn't know how to fucking phrase any of it. I'm just annoyed because I wanted to make this like a quick 15-minute video and it took me like an hour to film. So I'm annoyed, but till next time, LYLAS.